For this video, we're going to look at some pieces of decorated specialties in Laughlin Art China. We've reached the end of our little series on Laughlin Art China. We've seen some of the more popular treatments like Juno and White Pets and Current. So this is essentially our leftovers, and when we're done with this video, we can move on to different subjects. So we'll start with these gem jugs. And this particular treatment, Joe Cunningham called this Lady with Rose in Her Hair. It comes on several different shapes, not only specialty wear, but dinnerware shapes as well. We'll look at these examples in the back, because these, with the Lady and the Rose in the Hair decal, are actually factory seconds. The plaque has tinting that would be normally used on Juno, but as you can tell, there was a lot of pooling effect on here. So rather than finish it out with Juno and put gold trim, they just slap this decal on it and sell it as a second. Same's true with the Steinauer. We see, I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but there's a lot of flow and running into this glaze. So they put this and sell it as a second. But that being said, it was also used as a first quality treatment. When we look at this gem jug, we see it has a treatment number. So we have the Laughlin Art China overglaze stamp, we've got the signature mark under the glaze, and then we have the treatment number J4. We'll look at the reverse because it has a different decal on the back. And we will see this particular lady on a couple pieces. There's a Stein mug with this treatment. So a lot of people call these Laughlin Beauties or showgirls. Here she is again on, this is the Angelus handled salad nappy or tab handled nappy. Let's see how it's marked. Has the Angelus back stamp. Nice gold tracings. Similar way it was decorated on this piece of American Beauty. We'll look at the marking on that one. It should be the circle mark. And here she is yet again on a sort of a bluish green tint plaque. And on this pink and gray. So this is a treatment you're going to find quite often, both on dinnerware or decorated dinnerware with these blended tints, as well as Art China and decorated specialties. In the back, we have two gem jugs with gold stamps. They both have gold stipple. This one's got blue tint, almost reminiscent of what we saw with toiletware with our signature marking. And the one with no tint has a treatment number. It is J16. Fleur-de-lis marking probably comes around 1910. And then we have this gem jug, which is slightly larger. So this would be, let's see, this would be a 12s. So those are 24s and these are 12s. Or this one's a 12. It has pink and gray blended tint, sort of like what you would see on White Pets. It is marked with the signature mark. Another Laughlin Beauty. And on the back there's nothing. So I'll be doing a video on gem jugs pretty soon because I want to talk a little bit about Arthur Mountford, who was largely responsible for the initial offerings of Art China and decorated specialties, and this would have been one of his shapes, and it has his typical features on it with this nice sharp embossing at the bottom, the chain detail. We see this on King Charles. We see some details shared with Bridal, so we'll be looking at those again. Alaskan ice cream with this colonial couple decal. Marked colonial because the Alaskan ice creams are used in colonial dinnerware. We have another one with colonial couple. A little more elaborate tint going on, some gold trim, and we have the Laughlin Art China and signature mark. A biscuit jar. We saw one of these in Laughlin Blue. This one has scattered sprigs and gold stamps. Interestingly, the one from Laughlin Blue and this one has the same gold stamping on it. We'll look at the marking on the bottom. We see Laughlin Art China, and we have a King Charles circle mark. Couple chocolate pots. This is the second style chocolate pot. The first style we saw in Juno and Laughlin Blue, and this is the second style. It was used in Golden Fleece and Current. We'll look at the Golden Fleece version. This is the last treatment that was developed for Art China. So Golden Fleece comes from around 1908 and lasts until 1910. It was extended into the 1920s and used on Quaker, which we'll see here. There's a Quaker piece with Golden Fleece. This is 1922. So you can find the sugar, the creamer, the teapot, as well as the specialty oblong celery tray with Golden Fleece from the 1920s. But here it is on the chocolate pot. Nice all-over gold stamp design. And we see the marking Laughlin Art China with Golden Fleece underneath. And we have a Tioga sugar basket. Again, well, it's upside down. Laughlin Art China Golden Fleece. Another Showgirl plaque. And it's marked Laughlin Art China. One thing about these figures, it sort of works the same way with Monk, in that you are going to find plaques and cake plates and pitchers and, you know, the mugs and the stein and ewers. Not so much other wares like sugar baskets or biscuit jars or vases. We see this princess decal with this dark green blended tint. It's probably myrtle green, and we see, I don't know if that's going to show up, it's like fern gold embossing. And we have Laughlin Art China. And there's a geisha jug with another princess. Same fern embossing, same myrtle green tint. Golden Gate. A lot of these geisha jugs are going to have Golden Gate on them. It originates with the Golden Gate shape in the late 1890s. So if we look at another one, let's say, yeah, Golden Gate. Let's see how this one's marked. Golden Gate. Circle mark. On the opposite side, we see another princess. Move things around a moment. This is a molasses can, Sappho molasses can. Signature mark in Laughlin Art China. This is called Chester Rose. Rather popular treatment on dinnerware. You're going to find it more in dinnerware than you will on Art China. And this is a King Charles example with the exact same treatment. We'll see the marking, circle mark King Charles. And yet again, here's Our Lady with the flower in the hair. But this is a colonial cake plate with blended tint on the bottom. Nice gold stamps. These gold stamps you will also find on Gypsy. Let me turn it over. We see a colonial circle mark and Laughlin Art China. Now, this Steinewer was decorated by an outside company. And it says at the bottom, I don't know if that's going to show up, it says 7 Falls South Cheyenne Canyon. So it's a souvenir piece. It has this oak treatment going on. There was a company, I think it's called Oakwood, in East Liverpool that decorated a lot of Laughlin Art China with this sort of grainy effect. It makes it look like wood. Some more of our princesses on some geisha jugs. Ruby. Now Ruby was one of the first Laughlin Art China treatments, and it does not hold up well over the years. This ruby luster that they applied tends to wear very easily. So we have, of course, the Stein mug, a chocolate cup and saucer, marked Laughlin Art China. There's the gold stamp in the middle of the saucer. Laughlin Art China has an iridized glaze to it. I'm probably not going to show up. This piece is badly crazed. Let's look at the saucer again. So you see this opalescent rainbow effect in the glaze. So that's our fancy salad, or ruffled salad. And we have our Laughlin Art China marking. Underneath is Trinity Rose. Really special treatment because this was used not only in Art China, but dinnerware and toiletware. So it's one of the very few decals that we see that crosses over in all these different forms. So there's your fancy salad from Art China. It's even marked Art China. Here it is as it's used on colonial dinnerware. That's a demi-tasse cup. And then we see the same decal on a bridal mouth ewer, Trinity Rose. Again, one of the few that actually goes from one to the other between toiletware and dinnerware and art china. We've seen this rose decal before on some Hudson fruit plates, and here it's being used with blended tints and gold stamp on an Angelus salad nappy. It's also used on the handled salad. And grape. Another early art china treatment. We see here on this tall vase. Let me move some things again. Has some nice sharpening detail at the bottom. I think that's the number 4 vase. I get the number 4 and the number 5 confused. We saw those tall vases before in current. And we have a punch bowl. Let's move this. You can see the grape and blended tint on the body of the ware. And 2 steins. Blended tint and one with not nearly as nice as the blended tint. Some green border at the bottom. So punch bowls were made in several different sizes. They also were made with stands, but those are very hard to find. But another punch bowl in the back with some cups. These are technically Tom and Jerry sets. And we see the fleur-de-lis marking. So this is about 1910. And this particular decal, we were talking about Trinity Rose a moment ago, but this rose decal was also used with, and as well as the gold stamps, was also used on Duchess toiletware. So there's your Tom and Jerry set. Let me move this out of the way. There's an Angelus 9-inch plate that was decorated with this maroon border and gold stamping and showgirl decal. It's not art china, but it's a decorated specialty. And we'll close with this jumbo cup and saucer. It's rather sizable. Look at the marking on the saucer. Very faint, but it's the fleur-de-lis marking. This is circa 1910. The cup, interestingly, has a 3 on it. And we can look that up. And we have the 1906 catalog out. And let's see, we look at, here we go, Jumbo Coffees. And we go to number 3. Pink and green decalcomania, gold stencil border, and gold edge. And that's exactly what we have here with this specialty shaped jumbo cup and saucer. Offered as early as 1906, but this, based on the marking, comes, well, yeah, this would come about 1906. This would fall in that time range. We don't see date codes in this marking until about 1912. So that's it for now. That wraps up our look at art china. We'll move on to some more specialty shapes next time. I think we'll start with the Ohio and Virginia jugs.